America. It's the land of the free, home of the brave, and birthplace of the McRib. We see it as a beacon of innovation, a bastion of freedom, a place where dreams are made of slightly melted cheese and a really aggressive amount of pepperoni. But under that shiny, star-spangled surface, there's a whole lot more going on. Because America, my friends, is a land of contradictions. So buckle up, buttercups, because in this countdown, we're diving deep into 10 eye-opening realities about life in the U.S. Let's start with something we can all agree on: America's undying, slightly concerning love affair with food. From coast to coast, our nation is united by a shared passion for all things delicious and indulgent. And when I say food, what I really mean is pizza. This iconic dish has become a staple in our daily lives, a go-to comfort food that brings people together. Because, folks, every single day, Americans consume enough pizza to cover 75 football fields. That's right, 75. It's a staggering amount that highlights just how much we adore this cheesy delight. 75. That's enough dough to make even the most enthusiastic Italian nonna say, "Mamma mia, that's a lot of pizza." It's a testament to our insatiable appetite for this versatile dish. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer that pizza is its own food group. It's a culinary marvel that can be customized to suit any taste, from classic margarita to adventurous toppings like pineapple and jalapenos. But this cheesy obsession comes with a side of consequences. Our love for pizza, while delicious, can lead to some less than ideal outcomes. And by consequences, I mean a heaping helping of, well, consequences. It's not just about the extra calories, it's about the broader impact on our health and well-being. See, America also happens to have one of the highest obesity rates in the world. Our dietary choices, including our pizza consumption, play a significant role in this statistic. 42% of adults are classified as obese. That's nearly half of the adult population facing serious health challenges related to weight. That's a lot of folks struggling to fit into their "these jeans looked better on me yesterday" jeans. It's a daily struggle that many can relate to. And look, I'm not here to judge anyone's diet. We all have our guilty pleasures and comfort foods that we turn to. But it's a stark reminder that even the most delicious aspects of American culture can have a flip side. It's important to find a balance and make mindful choices. It's a complicated relationship we have with food, full of love, regret, and probably some mild heartburn. Navigating this relationship is a journey we all share. Now let's talk about American culture, because honestly, where else would we even begin? It's a beautiful, messy, utterly baffling thing. We're a nation that simultaneously values individuality and conformity, independence and community, apple pie, and, well, more apple pie. For example, we're big on small talk, like really big on it. Strangers striking up conversations in line at the grocery store, totally normal. Sharing your life story with the barista making your latte, par for the course. But then, we also have this thing about personal space. We'll chat your ear off about the weather, but God forbid you stand too close in the elevator. That's a one-way ticket to Side-Eye City. And don't even get me started on the shoes thing. Taking your shoes off at the door is practically a national pastime. It's just one of the many delightful contradictions that make America, well, America. Okay, deep breath everyone, because it's time to talk about the environment. Yes, the environment. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land we live on. And before you click away, I promise, it's not all doom and gloom. There are actually some pretty exciting things happening. Because, believe it or not, America is actually making some progress on the green front. We're seeing more solar panels and wind turbines than ever before. For starters, we're leading the world in wind energy. Those giant turbines you see? They're not just for show. That's right, folks. We're talking enough clean energy to power over 43 million homes. Imagine that, 43 million homes running on wind power. It's enough to make even the most jaded oil executive reconsider their stance on renewable energy. Maybe even think twice about their next big oil project. Maybe. And that's not all. There's more good news. Over the last 2 decades, America has been on a tree planting spree. Yes, a spree. We're talking about a massive effort to reforest our lands. We're talking billions of trees planted, folks. Billions with a B. It's like someone replaced every Starbucks in the country with a redwood forest. Imagine walking out of your house and seeing a forest instead of a coffee shop. And you knew there was a but coming, right? America is still one of the largest emitters of carbon dioxide in the world. Our industrial activities are a big part of the problem. So while we're out here planting trees and harnessing the power of the wind, we're also, kind of canceling ourselves out. It's a bit of a balancing act. But hey, at least we're moving, right? Progress is progress, and every step forward counts. Let's keep pushing for a greener future. Chapter 4. The High Cost of Feeling Better. America's Healthcare Conundrum. All right, folks, let's talk about healthcare in America. But first, a quick trigger warning. This one's a real downer. See, America spends more per capita on healthcare than any other developed nation. We're talking more money than a Kardashian at a diamond auction. But here's the kicker. We're ranked 46th in life expectancy. 46th. That's like going to a Michelin-starred restaurant and being served a lukewarm hot dog. And if that wasn't enough to make you want to schedule a doctor's appointment just to check your blood pressure, here's the real gut punch. Over 100 million Americans are drowning in medical debt. It's a uniquely American nightmare. We pay more for healthcare, get sicker more often, and end up buried in debt. Chapter 5. Stars and Stripes, Bombs and Budgets. The Paradox of Military Spending. Let's talk about America's military might. We're talking drones, tanks, enough firepower to make a Michael Bay film blush. In fact, America spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. Now, I understand the need for a strong national defense, but here's the thing. While we're busy funding fighter jets and aircraft carriers, over 33,000 veterans are homeless on any given night. We're sending our brave men and women to fight for our freedom, but we can't even guarantee them a roof over their heads when they come home. Shouldn't taking care of our veterans be a no-brainer? Chapter 6. Land of the Free, Home of the Incarcerated, America's Mass Incarceration Problem. Okay, folks, buckle up because this next one's a doozy. Let's talk about America's prison system. It's a topic that often gets swept under the rug, but it's crucial we bring it to light. Now, I know what you're thinking, John. Why are you bringing the mood down? I was just enjoying my pizza and wind energy, but trust me, this is something we all need to chew on. Well, I hate to break it to you, but America has a bit of an incarceration problem. And by bit, I mean a colossal issue that affects millions. We're talking a big orange jumpsuit-wearing problem. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the lives impacted. See, the US is home to just 5% of the world's population, but it houses a whopping 20% of its prisoners. That's a staggering statistic that should make us all pause. And here's the really messed up part. A good chunk of those incarcerated are in private prisons. These institutions prioritize profit over people. It's a system where profit comes before rehabilitation and where the punishment often doesn't fit the crime. This creates a cycle of incarceration that's hard to break. It's a stain on the fabric of American society, and it's time we start having some uncomfortable conversations about justice, equality, and what it truly means to be free. We need to rethink our approach to incarceration and focus on rehabilitation and fairness. Chapter 7. The Ever-Widening Gap, Economic Inequality in the Land of Opportunity. America, the Land of Opportunity, where anyone can make it if they just work hard enough. It's a comforting narrative, isn't it? Except for one tiny detail. It's not entirely true. See, America also happens to have one of the largest wealth gaps in the developed world. The wealthiest 1% of Americans own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. Meanwhile, nearly 2/3 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to afford basic necessities like rent, groceries, and the occasional avocado toast. The American dream is starting to feel more like a fever dream. Chapter 8. The Price of Higher Education, America's Student Loan Crisis. College, the best 4 or 5 or 6 years of your life. A time for self-discovery, intellectual growth, and racking up enough debt to make a small nation blush. See, over 45 million Americans are currently swimming in a sea of student loan debt. We're talking a collective $1.77 trillion. Trillion! That's enough money to buy every single person in Wyoming a pony. And not just any pony, a really fancy pony with a diamond-encrusted saddle. And here's a fun fact. Women hold nearly 2/3 of that debt. Single mothers in particular are hit the hardest. It's a financial burden that delays homeownership, marriage, and retirement. It's enough to make you want to say screw it to that fancy degree and become a professional dog walker. Chapter 9. The Silent Threat, America's Chemical Exposure Problem. Okay, folks, time for a quick science lesson. But don't worry, I promise to keep it simple. Because here's the thing. The average American has over 200 industrial chemicals in their bloodstream. 200! That's like a chemical frat party happening in your veins. And these aren't the fun kind of chemicals either, like the ones that make your clothes smell like spring meadows and sunshine. No, these are the bad boys. The ones linked to cancer, infertility, and a whole host of other health problems. And where are these chemicals coming from, you ask? Oh, just everyday products. It's a silent health crisis, and it's happening right under our noses. Chapter 10. A Nation Under Fire Gun Violence in America. And now, for the final stop on our whirlwind tour of American contradictions, gun violence. It's a topic that's both deeply troubling and incredibly complex. Here's a statistic for you. The U.S. has more guns than people. That's right, folks. We're outgunned by our own firearms. We're talking roughly 120 guns for every 100 residents. But it's not just the sheer number of guns that's alarming. It's the devastating consequences that come with it. Over 600 mass shootings occur annually in the U.S. That's more than one per day. Gun violence is a uniquely American epidemic, and it's a conversation we can no longer afford to avoid. Outro. The conversation continues. So there you have it. 10 eye-opening realities about life in America. It's a nation of contradictions, full of innovation and generosity, but also grappling with systemic issues and stark inequalities. But here's the good news. Recognizing these realities is the first step towards change. So, what surprised you the most? What realities resonated with you? Let me know in the comments below.